What's up? It's your boy Kevin to turn on this motherfucking YouTube shit. Wow, what the fuck?
What's up? It's your boy Kevin turn on YouTube shit. Hey man, we are Lit that team, man. Turn to motherfucking day. Show you outside, big crib in the gang. Show you outside shit, man. Free Palestine, free Congo, Russia, do your thing, and Texas, stand the fuck up. Each day is another be a better version of yourself. Never let somebody bring you down, I'll fight back. Never let somebody tell you are also never put yourself in a position of alone. Let's stay humble, let's go revolution on the movement. Keep your way first. Come and choose a black, keep Israelite as a real Jew. We out here. Alright, boom. Today, to motherfucking day. Show you outside, big crib in the gang. Show you outside shit, man. Gang, go. Bruh. In this video, man, you know, a lot of rappers have been locked up off of goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of shit that these rappers be getting locked up for half the time could have most definitely been, you know what I'm saying, didn't need to happen. So we got Poohshiesty. You know, he got in trouble for shooting people. A couple of people shot like a security guard. He shot like their friend shot like some dude on like a deal going bad or some shit. Well, he done got free, and they trying to say some shit. He been snitching. They trying to say he snitched, and they trying to connect this nigga to another shooting that just happened when he got out, or like a week or however long after he done got out. They trying to connect this nigga to another shooting with the same situation that happened with the when he shot and robbed niggas. It's the same shit. So, hey man, we finna get to the bitch and let's check it out. Shout out to Hip Hop Daily. So, Poohshiesty is released early from prison. Man, crash out of the century, nigga. Like, how a nigga crash out like this it need to be studied. But they trying to say he snitched though, and some other shit going on with him.
Poohshiesty got locked up for shooting some dudes and was supposed to be in prison for 5 years. But now he's home early and already turning up the heat in the trenches. In October 2025, Poohshiesty was officially released from prison after he spent 3 years in the feds. A lot of people thought the news was fake when it first broke, but then Shiesty's lawyer, Bradford Cohen, hopped on IG and confirmed Poohshiesty was really free. Shiesty was originally facing a life sentence if he took his case to trial. He pleaded guilty to get some of the charges dropped, but Bradford Cohen said the feds still wanted to give him 10 years in prison. The judge ended up giving Shiesty 5 years, but Shiesty kept his head down.
I told you 10 to 15.
Inside, so they let him out early after he only served 3 years. The details about the case haven't been released, but right now, Shiesty's still at a halfway house and isn't completely free yet. He'll be able to go out and do his thing during the day, but then he'll have to check back in at the halfway house at night. When the feds let Shiesty walk out the door, the first thing he did was rock up to the jeweler and dropped $100K on a new chain. Shiesty's been out of the game for a few years, but his pockets aren't looking any thinner. And when he linked up with his homie Big Dirty during his first day out, Big Dirty handed Shiesty a huge bankroll to celebrate. Dropping racks wasn't the only thing Shiesty did during his first day out, though. He's been trying to get with Cardi B for a while, and when Shiesty came home, he hopped in her IG comments and said, "I love you." That wasn't the first time Shiesty tried to shoot a shot with Cardi B, though. Back in August 2024, Cardi had filed for divorce from Offset, so Shiesty commented on her IG live from prison and said, "I'm 5 minutes away, baby. Open the door." It doesn't look like that's going to work out for Shiesty, though, because Cardi B is with Stephon Diggs from the New England Patriots.
He might as well go
for their first kid together. Shiesty hasn't dropped any music for 2 years, but he's still got a lot of fans waiting for him to hop in the booth. The last track Shiesty drops was Federal Contraband 2, and he recorded it on a jail phone. Shiesty raps about how brutal it was inside and said, "Shit going all bad, but I'm patient. Knowing something good gotta come next. Oh, Sally just got killed. His killer gone to ADX. went from Audemars to G-Shock. These the jailhouse Rolex. And on the same track, Shiesty raps about losing his cousin Big Scarr while he was locked up. Big Scarr and Shiesty have blood ties, and Shiesty's the one who linked Big Scarr up with Gucci Mane. Shiesty was already working with Gucci, and when Scarr started making music, he got on the phone with Gucci Mane and ended up signing to his 1017 label. Scarr had a crazy life and survived getting shot back in 2020. But then Poohshiesty got locked up, and that was the last time he ever saw his cousin. In December 2022, the news broke that Big Scarr had died from an accidental overdose, and on the track Federal Contraband 2, Shiesty rapped, "They locked me up for 5 winters, got a shine to beat the summer, on bad terms with Scarr before he died, couldn't even say I love him."
Oh, damn, they was beefing?
Scarr had drug issues for a while before he died, and Shiesty said, "I found out through the CO, he let me out, said call your mama, baby Shiesty think I be bitching. I holla at him cause I love him. If I sit back and watch drugs kill you, I fell as a brother. Sobered up, I don't think they're ready for the new me. They in trouble." Big Scarr's death was a big loss, but the whole situation in Memphis has changed while Shiesty was locked up, and now 2 of his homies are in the middle of a deadly beef.
People said I was crazy.
2 of his homies are in the middle of a deadly beef. Big 30's one of Shiesty's closest homies, and they started Chopper Gang together back in the day. Both of them were popping off in the rap game, and Big 30 got a deal with Moneybagg Yo around the same time that Poohshiesty signed with Gucci Mane. Back then, Shiesty, Big 30, and Moneybagg Yo were all hopping on tracks together. But while Shiesty was locked up, Big 30 and Moneybagg sparked up some drama, and Moneybagg tried to drag Poohshiesty into it. Big 30 linked up with Moneybagg Yo through his cousin Newski. Newski came up in the trenches and ended up getting a deal with Moneybagg's Bread Gang label. But Big 30 claimed that Moneybagg only signed Newski and him because Moneybagg needed some shooters for protection. Then Newski got killed in 2022. And on the track Federal Contraband 2, Shiesty shouted him out and raps, "Long live the members, man. We don't say rest in peace. They live through me. Lump, Rico, 2-3, Trey Day, Newski. I done lost real day ones playing in these yellow lines. You hear me?" Poohshiesty hasn't said anything about Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo's beef, but Moneybagg Yo name-dropped Poohshiesty while he was dissing Big 30 and rapped, "You're the one that did fake shit. I stood there, nigga. How the fuck am I wrong? Posted went even harder when Shiesty got locked, but it's like you stopped putting on." Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo were sending shots back and forth. And on the trap rap niggas, Moneybagg name-dropped Shiesty again and rapped, "I feel like Shiesty. I don't need no security in the club. Most of them niggas doing the talking, can't break out a dub. Might drop an op and throw a party like I'm Mr. Ruggs." Big 30 and his homies were allegedly putting in work for Moneybagg, and Big 30's homie Sheez Dollar got shot and killed a couple of months after Newski was murdered. Rumors say that Shiesty already has disses on Moneybagg ready to go. And hopefully he keeps his head down because he almost fumbled his whole life when he caught his case. Shiesty was already trying to stay out of the Memphis drama before he got locked up. Back when Shiesty first started popping off, Young Dolph and Yo Gotti's war was tearing up the streets. Shiesty didn't want to sign to one of them and have to pick a side in the beef, and that's why he decided to sign with Gucci instead of somebody from Memphis. But even though Shiesty didn't hop into the Dolph and Yo Gotti beef, he still had a lot of drama in the city. Before he got locked up, Shiesty was beefing with another Memphis rapper named Big Boogie. It's not clear what sparked the issue, but rumors said that Chopper Gang put up the Boogie show in Mississippi and left 2 people dead back in 2020. Shiesty was also beefing with a crew called EBG, and after Shiesty blew up with the track Back in Blood, a dude named EBG E Jizzle remixed it and did Shiesty when he rapped, "Cross my heart, that's on my soul. Lil Mr. Pooh, you was a hoe. Tell a gang that 30 shot you, now you rapping, that's your bro. Style starts, he shot you, now you rapping, that's your bro." Then just a couple of weeks after E Jizzle did Shiesty, someone pulled up on E Jizzle and shot him. Rumors are flying that E Jizzle was paralyzed from the shots, and Poohshiesty clowned him for not being able to walk anymore. It turned out that EBG E Jizzle just caught a bullet in the arm and wasn't paralyzed. But it was clear that Poohshiesty was still connected to the trenches, even though he was running up huge numbers off the music. Shiesty blew up and hit the mainstream, but he has way deeper ties to the trenches than he does to the rap game. Shiesty's dad is a dude named Mob Boss, and in 2004, he was allegedly involved with the murder. Mob Boss was always catching cases when Poohshiesty was a kid and allegedly worked with a legendary Memphis drug lord named Ronnie Woods. Woods ran a crew called the Memphis Mob, and they basically owned the whole city for decades. Back in the day, Mob Boss was trying to make it in the rap game too, and he even had his own track called Mob Ties. Poohshiesty used to be in the studio with his dad when he was just a kid, but nobody knew that Pooh was going to hop in the booth and take over. Shiesty dropped his first track with Big 30 back in March 2019. Everything he drops is buzzing from the jump. And in 2020, he was already working with huge rappers like Gucci and Lil Baby. Back in Blood with Lil Durk took Poohshiesty to another level. But a month before the tracks dropped, Shiesty got the charges that almost sent him away for decades. In October 2020, Poohshiesty rented a McLaren for some dudes in Florida and wanted to link with them again to buy drugs and sneakers. But when the dude showed up to the spot to make the deal, Shiesty or one of his homies pulled out a gun and shot one of them. Shiesty left the scene before the cops showed up, but he dropped a Louis Vuitton bag full of money on the ground that the police linked back to him. They let Shiesty out on bond after they booked him, and then a few months later, he allegedly shot a club security guard in the ankle. Shiesty was facing armed robbery, aggravated assault, battery, and other charges, but he pleaded guilty instead of taking it to trial, so most of the charges got dropped. He was supposed to be coming home in April 2026.
So who did put the charge on? Did he snitch or did he not? Who did put the charge on then?
Gucci
They
made
all
on
dropped the
IG
charges
and shouted Shiesty
based
out.
on a hot
It's
thing,
not
but who
clear
they put it on
Poohshiesty
then?
is still signed to Gucci though. The last single he dropped was Federal Contraband too, and now it's distributed by Shiesty's Chopper Gang label instead of 1017 Records. But even if Gucci and Shiesty don't have a deal anymore, that doesn't mean they stop rocking with each other. It looks like Shiesty wants to come back to the rap game and take over with his own group. And on Federal Contraband too, he said, "I'm the biggest. Ain't no CEO or OG over me, nigga. I'm CEO status." Getting locked up for 3 years definitely stopped Poohshiesty from really taking over, but he still has a lot of buzz on his name and can pick right back up where he left off if he plays it right. Shiesty doesn't want to end up throwing the momentum he has right now like Bobby Shmurda and Young Thug did. Shmurda had a lot of hype behind him when he came home from prison, but he waited forever to drop any new music.
Thing about Bobby Shmurda is, this nigga, man, he just came out zesty,
couldn't sell any
low-key, man.
tickets. Young Thug
He
is still
just started doing
huge,
that
but he
zesty
fell in the
ass
same
shit.
situation and waited forever to drop new music after he came home from his RICO case.
You
Poohshiesty's
gotta
first
drop
record
soon
went
as you get
platinum,
out.
and he still
First
has a
day
lot
out
of fans
drop,
rocking with
nigga.
him though.
And put some
So if he
heat on
drops
that
a hot
bitch, nigga,
track,
on the first
they
day
can put
out.
him right
Yeah.
back on top.
With the right partner to
Shout out to KB Goes Live. So Poohshiesty just got free, but they trying to say Poohshiesty just got accused for snitching, and something stupid else done happen while he out of jail, bruh.
Big Bank Hank. Wack looking crazy because the lawyer's shooting down every point he's trying to make.
Alright, so today we're going to be talking about Poohshiesty. Right, he was just released from prison the other day. Back in October of 2020, he was involved in a series of incidents in Florida that actually led to him being incarcerated. This included a gas station shooting, a robbery involving a drug deal, and an assault at a strip club. Right, in January of 2022, he pleaded guilty to one federal conspiracy charge related to possessing firearms in furtherance of violent and drug trafficking crimes. This plea resulted in the dismissal of 3 other charges, including a Hobbs Act robbery charge, which could have led to a life sentence. Now, Poohshiesty was sentenced to 63 months, so 5 years and 3 months in federal prison. He served approximately 3 years of that before being released in early October 2025, right, just a couple of days ago. His early release was due to a combination of time served and good behavior. And as far as the general public is concerned, they seen it as Poohshiesty stood on all 10. He did his time.
He was in GP.
Right. Well, today we've got this rumor, this speculation
that
Poohshiesty somehow cooperated in his case coming back to light. And of course, this is thanks to WACK100. Right? I don't know if you guys remember, but back about 3-4 years ago when all this first went down, WACK100 had claimed this exact same thing. He was like, "Oh, Poohshiesty, I got paperwork on him." Just like Wack says about anybody, right? It's getting to the point with WACK100 where if you're a human breathing air, WACK100 probably has paperwork on you. If Jesus was resurrected and walked the earth again, WACK100 would swear to God he has paperwork on Jesus. But I see this topic is making more headlines. People are starting to talk about it again because WACK100 went over on Academics live stream, and basically now that Poohshiesty is released, he reapproached the situation. Right, so before we talk about it, I just want to play y'all the clip.
We got to get an official certification. I announced it on the gram. We have Poohshiesty who's back home, and he's the only rapper of recent time who came home, never snitched. Is that true or not? The exposers, I heard, they did a whole thing on it. We need to know, what's the deal?
Well, here goes the thing. You know, I had his attorney 11 months ago on my channel.
Really?
Yeah, I sent you the link. You got the link. The disposal, we had his attorney, but he made some points. We made some points, but the point that he had to clear up, he was supposed to send the paperwork, and he gave me the word he was going to send it, and he never sent it. Now, I will tell you this. I looked at my phone today, and the exposer's been working overtime, and they got all kind of new paperwork.
Wait, what?
And I ain't ready. But the way they talking crazy on this text blast, hold on, I'm gonna send it to you so you see. I ain't ready. They been working.
Wait.
Do you think I'm fucking around? Hold on, what? You think I'm fucking around? Bro, I haven't listened. When you're gonna see, they let me know, hey, we got a motherfucking problem. And they serious. And I'm over here. Look at your text, right? So I gotta go in tomorrow and see.
Yo, Wack. Yo, y'all got niggas circling shit on paper?
Bro, this is a real motherfucking operation, bro. I got 51 spies. And then you got the exposers.
What the
We
fuck?
got paralegals, we got attorneys, we got motherfucking PI, we got all. Bro,
Damn, FBI agents.
With my cabin, look, I haven't even had a chance to respond but once. You see, they have me. Look, you reading it. They got the PDFs. I don't even want to open the PDFs.
Yo, Wack.
They done found everybody robbers.
Wack.
Damn.
Please just delete this message thread, man.
Bro,
Poohshiesty,
whoever
real
victim 1 and 2 is, listen, bro. Bro, you see what I'm saying? I haven't even had a chance to address it, but I will tell you this. That when we had his attorney on, didn't I send you the link?
You can get 25.
And when we had his attorney on, didn't I send you the link? Okay, so as you can hear, WACK100 is heavily implying that he has some type of paperwork on Poohshiesty, right? It's crazy that this is making its way around the news cycle right now, because like I said, this actually happened 3 years ago. WACK100 went through this exact same process. And it all basically comes from an excerpt from the paperwork where everybody involved took plea deals. WACK100 is basically like, there's a lot of names in his plea deal. He admitted to a lot in that plea deal, so he snitching. The excerpt said, as part of the plea, Williams Jr., that's Poohshiesty, admitted to participating in the conspiracy on the following 3 occasions. First, on July 7, 2020 in Memphis, Poohshiesty was inside a car when an occupant of the car discharged a firearm at a gas station. Second, on October 9th, in Bay Harbor Islands, Florida, Poohshiesty and his co-conspirators arrived at a meeting to acquire marijuana, codeine, and sneakers. During the meeting, members of Williams' group brandished firearms and assaulted 2 victims. Following the assault, the group departed the scene with the victims, marijuana, codeine, and sneakers. And then third, on May 30th, 2021, Poohshiesty assaulted a victim with a firearm at a Miami strip club.
If he was a regular nigga
so the part
with
that
no money on, he
basically
could.
WACK100 has been claiming says Poohshiesty snitches, where it said he admitted to participating in these 3 separate crimes. Except the problem is Poohshiesty didn't just admit to it and give a proffer out and say, oh, I didn't do it. Them dudes are the ones who did it. Everybody here admitted that this is what happened. Everybody that was involved in the case, they all took the exact same plea deal, right? And back 3 years ago when this all first broke into the news, Poohshiesty actually responded to WACK100.
Y'all be letting that fat, bald-headed, irrelevant ass nigga always voice his opinion on shit and shit, man. That man ain't shit about John gangster, good. My nigga ain't snitched on no nigga, never been break the fold. Why you think my nigga ain't got no break? Why you think he ain't bounce back out like the rest of these rappers? Fuck you to my nigga, taking that shit to the chin. You cooperate with rats, nigga. You deal with rats. Come on, man. What are you speaking on gangster shit?
Not only did Poohshiesty respond to this back the first time WACK100 alleged this, but Poohshiesty's attorney actually has spoke on this as well. His attorney posted this right here up that says, this is 100% fake news. WACK100. There is no paperwork that will say Poohshiesty said a word about anything on anything. In fact, none of the three charged gave proffers on anything about anything having to do with other people. This is just a straight mistruth. They all took pleas to the same crime and one count of a possession of a weapon during a drug crime. None of them gave a proffer about anything. It was a straight plea deal, with all of them having the other three life felony counts dismissed. But why bother with facts? Just throw something out for clicks. This isn't the only time that Poohshiesty's attorney spoke on this. Like WACK100 said, he did have a conversation with Poohshiesty's attorney on live, where his attorney tried his hardest to clear this up with WACK100, right? But because WACK100 is who he is,
you never know in the game, man.
He'll argue until the air
You never
runs
know.
dry in his lungs. If he has to, he will spend a solid 12-hour work shift on Clubhouse arguing with somebody until they give up and he can claim he won the argument. Right? But here is how that conversation kind of went. Now, this was a 2-hour conversation, so this is a small part of it, but this is essentially how that conversation went.
This is one of those situations that's a little touchy to me because I know him, I know his family, I know the label we signed to, but I also understand the streets and understand these YouTubers and the narratives and what they're reading. To my understanding, there's a statement in this document that says, in this case, there was a very strong factual proffer made by the government. Okay? In the world of the streets, when they hear proffer
means snitching.
Automatically assume
that is snitching.
Cooperation. The verbiage of that is a government factual proffer is a meeting between a criminal defendant or witness and the government where the defendant shares information with the government in exchange for limited immunity. All y'all don't know, Napoleon is Poohshiesty's actual legal attorney that handled this case. So he has more in-depth paperwork,
boy, this is
information than what I consider to be shallow. Now, Napoleon, so I want you to authenticate, right, that is a line in Pooh's document. In this case, there was a very strong factual proffer made by the government.
That's not a line in any document that I've seen.
I got this from his father, right? This document came from his father, so I want to send it to you. We represent a movement called the Exposers, and we're not here just to expose people on bad shit, but we're here to clear things up.
Okay, so what you're looking at right now is that this is, I don't know if this is a document in his case, but this looks like a legal filing by an attorney, and it just says, in this case, there was a very strong factual proffer made by the government, and the appellant's sworn adoption of this proffer also clearly establishes his guilt of the killing of David Jones. Poohshiesty wasn't on trial for the killing of David Jones, so I don't know specifically where this document came from in the case.
Now, Napoleon,
you gotta love how the attorney immediately shut WACK100 down. Like, look, bro, I don't know what document this is you got, but this is about a murder. Poohshiesty wasn't even on trial for a murder. You gotta just appreciate how in less than literally 2 seconds that lawyer shut that whole thing down. Well, look, let's keep going.
So let me actually read you the factual proffer that was used in the case. It says that the United States of America and the defendant's counsel agree that had this case gone to trial, the United States would have proven the following facts, amongst other, occurred in Miami-Dade County, Southern District of Florida, and elsewhere, beyond a reasonable doubt, and that such facts are sufficient to establish the defendant's guilt to the offenses charged in the indictment. So that is a quote directly from the factual proffer in Poohshiesty's case and his co-defendant Bobby Brown's case. Every single defendant in federal court, if they want to plead guilty to the offense charge, they have to sign a factual proper statement because the courts require defendants to admit to their guilt if they're pleading guilty.
Okay,
if the defendant will not admit to the factual proffer, the judge will force them to go to trial. So a factual proffer is necessary just to plead guilty in the case.
Okay.
What his attorney is simply trying to say is that Poohshiesty did sign a factual proffer. All the defendants in the case signed that factual proffer. But it wasn't like they sit down with the government and gave over information. They just had what the government alleged. Everybody that was involved was like, yeah, we agree we're guilty of what y'all allege. That's put on a piece of paper. They agree that they're guilty because they have to take a plea, which means they have to agree that they're guilty, right? That's what his lawyer is simply trying to say right there. Is that nobody really gave a statement. They just signed on a piece of paper saying what the government alleged was true. And everybody did that. So it's not like Poohshiesty did it and left the other guys high and dry with him admitting that everybody was guilty. No, they all took this plea and admitted it.
So we agree that he signed a factual proffer. We can agree on that.
Of course, just like every other defendant who pleads guilty.
Okay. The proffer, is it sealed? Is it something that nobody can see?
See, now there you go. So you're listening. It's interesting that you use those words.
I'm asking you.
No, I know, but I want to answer that. It's two parts to the question. Because the factual proffer, for purposes of a plea, is not sealed. That is a court record. It's a public document. If someone was cooperating with the government and gave a proper statement to the government, that document would be sealed, and it's not a public record.
I'm glad you said that because you just gave me.
If you get a proverb, that's snitching.
If you
simple.
Gave up information or snitched, right?
If you get a proverb on like anything like to help get you out the situation,
be sealed.
Like I'm talking about like on some bullshit like what Poohshiesty did.
This type of problem.
Like to me, people be saying, "Oh, don't snitch on the police, nigga. I'm snitching on the police, nigga." If the niggas whoop my ass, nigga, and they beat my ass, nigga, yeah, them police whoop my motherfucking ass, nigga. Fuck yeah. But if it's like a dirty cop.
That's available as a public record, just like every other defendant
he helped me out and get to the bag and shit.
Pleads guilty to a particular offense, gives a factual proffer, and takes a plea. That is a public record, and you can actually see what's written in the factual proffer. I want to correct something too. So there is a safety valve, and I want to. This is something.
Okay, stop right now.
Go ahead.
Are you saying? Because a lot of people, we gotta.
If the police whoop my ass, nigga, I'm snitching.
But we got a lot of people in chat.
Simple.
So you're saying
simple.
does have a safety
if the police whoop my ass, I'm snitching.
No, I'm not saying that Poohshiesty has a safety valve. I was just about to correct your contention that if a person cooperating with the government, that's the only way you can get safety valve. People can get safety valve without cooperating with the government. Like, for example, if you're a first-time offender and you don't have the requisite criminal history points, you can get safety valve just because you don't have the criminal history.
All right, for legal speak reasons, I'm sure some of y'all don't know what they're talking about right here. A safety valve is basically a federal law that allows a judge to bypass mandatory minimum sentences for certain individuals. Most of the time, it's low-level offenders or non-violent drug offenders who have limited criminal history. And what WACK100 is about to get into is the 5 specific criteria that somebody has to meet in order to have a safety valve. And those 5 specific criteria are having a minimal criminal history, not being a leader in the offense, not using violence, and providing all known information about the offense to the government. That's what WACK100 is about to try to hit on. And so he's cleverly using the wording of the 5 criteria to imply that Poohshiesty gave them details. Right? I just wanted to get that out there because I know some people may be a bit confused about what they're talking about.
5 points to a
set my ass up, nigga. I'm getting the police out the paint, nigga.
You do not have a prior criminal record.
I don't know what niggas talking about. Oh, don't sit on the cops.
You're not head of the criminal organization.
Hell no. You got me fucked up,
There was no violence in the crime.
Maybe a dirty cop and he helped me out and we all like he moving weight. You know what I'm saying? Like he was moving weight and he actually putting shit into the jail. Okay, you can't sit on a cop like that. They helping like move shit in the jail, like get phones and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's not accurate. There are plenty of people who did not cooperate with the government that did not that are still eligible for a safety valve. So you can get a safety valve as a first-time offenders. As a matter of fact, a lot of people get safety valve for certain type of cases where it's not related to violent crimes or drugs or things like that. It's inaccurate to say that somebody got a safety valve and that means that they cooperated with the government. All that means is that... Go ahead.
Okay, so WACK is an expert manipulator. The lawyer was trying to finish what he was saying right there, but WACK interrupts him. What the lawyer was going to say is that actually the 5 points don't require cooperation. Instead, they require full truthfulness during debrief, which could just simply be agreeing to what the government accuses you of, not necessarily you giving over details they didn't know.
Yeah.
But WACK cut him off, wouldn't let him finish his sentence.
Yeah, they already know what's going on.
Attorney was going to say, in addition to that, was that Poohshiesty didn't even have a safety valve on his case. Right, so you guys see how WACK kind of takes the information, he manipulates it, makes it about one thing. He tries to basically pull the wool over your eyes because they get into this whole dialogue about it, and WACK is coming off as if Poohshiesty has one, but Poohshiesty didn't have one.
And I want to make something clear too. Every single defendant in this case signed the same factual proffer. Okay, all of them.
That.
Huh?
We get that, but it's been cases where every single defendant signed the proffer and all of them told too. So, and we're not concerned with the other ones. We just concerned personally with he's the name, he's the one, and whatever. So if you can give us that docket number where to find it, right? That will really help everybody. So when this comes up, people could go read for themselves that Pooh's information, unlike others, right, is available. Like Blue Da Vinci, he did a safety valve. But
no, he did not get safety valve. I want to be clear about that.
No, Blue Da Vinci got a safety valve.
Oh, Blue Da Vinci, I'm sorry. I was trying to type in
when we go to look for the statement is not available, right? So we do know Poohshiesty did not have a safety valve. He just has this stage of a proffer, but his proffer is available for people to see what he actually signed and what statement he gave. And the statement he gave was him admitting guilt for his personal crime, correct?
Exactly. That's correct. In this particular case, there is a transcript of the sentencing hearing, okay? So at sentencing, I can guarantee you this, that had Poohshiesty cooperated with the government, he will be jumping up and down about how he helped the government and all these things, and all that will be in the record of the sentencing transcript when he got sentenced to prison. But none of that is there. None of it is about him telling on somebody else. None of it is about him.
So he just basically snitched on himself then. But we don't know because, like,
for a fact,
this is like a kind of older one, so we still got to find out.
What we did see was,
but everybody saying he snitched though. We don't know though.
Proffer.
He had a proffer.
That's what you're clearing up.
So he basically said, "Yeah, I did that shit, or somebody else did it. I don't know."
The actual proffer in Poohshiesty's situation, unlike other proffers, is available public record where you can actually see everything that was said and everything that was agreed upon and signed off by Poohshiesty. Am I correct?
That's correct.
There we have it.
I just want to make sure that something is clear too. So what it actually says is that the United States, the defendant and defendant's counsel agree that had this case gone to trial, the United States would have been able to prove the following facts that are sufficient to establish the defendant's guilt to the offenses charged in the indictment. So I just want to make sure that this is not a statement that anyone gave to the government. Nobody in this case, none of the defendants, sat down and talked to the government. This document was prepared by the government, that was reviewed by counsel, all of us, and we agreed, all of the defendants, that this is the factual proffer for everybody. So it begs the question, who did he snitch on if everybody signed this same factual proffer?
You found the...
I have. So the factual proffer was given on January 4th of 2022. is docket entry number 154.
Now, from here, the lawyer has told him what the document was, how he could get the document. WACK wants him to provide the document. And the lawyer makes a point multiple times to say, I cannot put it on the live stream, right? But if you have an attorney, go get the document. What you do is what you do. I represented Poohshiesty, so I have to be careful about what I share. At the beginning, in the clip with the academics, we heard him say, the lawyer was supposed to send me a document. He never sent me the document. This is what he's talking about.
Could you provide me with that document, right? Me personally, so I can, it doesn't have to be right now, it could be after we're done, because what I'm saying is, if it's in favor of Pooh, then I don't think that should be a problem.
Right.
All right, so we'll handle that.
And I'm telling you, I will one up you. I will give you the full sentencing transcript where you can see for yourself. I'm on there, Sam Zangane's on there, Brad Cohen was on there. We were a team together that represented these individuals. Nobody is going to say that they should have received a lower sentence because they
saying this nigga snitched.
Did he get below his mandatory minimum, or did he get mandatory minimum and above? Like what was
no minimum? There was no mandatory minimum. The way that it happened is that he pled guilty to one specific count in the indictment that did not have a minimum mandatory sentence. So therefore, the federal sentencing guidelines kick in, and you get to argue about what the guideline range should be.
So what I'm asking you, Napoleon, is usually they'll say, okay, mandatory minimum 60 months, and it can range up to 98 months. I'm just giving a,
right.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is the guideline range.
Yeah, yes.
Confidence is not a mind
range.
Yeah, yes.
So there was a superseding indictment that charged him with several different counts, and everybody with several different counts. Hobbs Act robbery, conspiracy to commit Hobbs Act robbery, and all these other things. We were going to trial. We were preparing for trial. We flew to Memphis. We flew to all these different places because the government was trying to get us to plead to something that we just were not going to do. They were, 22 years old around that age at the time, and spending 20 years of your life in jail just didn't make any sense. So as a compromise, the government offered everybody in this case to plead to one count of conspiracy to possess firearms in furtherance of a violent and drug trafficking crime. Okay? So that's what they actually pled guilty to. Now, that particular portion of the United States Code, or that particular crime, does not have a specific offense level. Okay, so what does that mean? You have to look at the facts and the circumstances of the case to determine what the guideline range should be. The government was trying to hold Bobby Brown, Poohshiesty, and everybody else to the firearms conspiracy charge in furtherance of an attempted murder, all right? The government was trying to say that the applicable guideline range should be 97 months. Now, again, there's no minimum mandatory penalty, but they were saying that the guideline range should be 97 months. We argued that it was not a robbery. This, at best, was an aggravated assault. And we said that the guideline range should have a lower offense level based on the fact that this is an aggravated assault. If you look at the sentencing hearing transcripts, the judge ultimately agreed with us after looking at the video that this was not a robbery. This was an aggravated assault. So therefore, the guideline range substantially decreased down to approximately 46 months, and that's what the judge sentenced them to. The government was asking for a whole lot in the beginning. They changed their position, dropped down, and then the judge still ultimately agreed with us that the guideline range should be lower than what the government was suggesting, because you got to get you a paid lawyer, and that's what happens when you do.
So at the end of the day, the 97 months, after you guys argued
Told you, they ain't gonna have no paid lawyer. He cooked.
What did it come down to?
Poohshiesty in that bitch at least about 10
to the 46
to 15.
months. Actually, Pooh's was a little bit higher
Pooh would have been in jail for 10 to 15, maybe longer, because after shit he's done. Like, I'm being
on
honest.
camera, and the
10 to
judge
15.
found that it was an aggravated assault for the incident in Bay Harbor Islands, and then also the one that was in the Gentleman's Club.
Now, that conversation goes on for about another hour and a half, but that is the general gist of what the conversation was. If you ask me, Poohshiesty's lawyer did a wonderful job at clearing this up 11 months ago, because mind you, this interview was 11 months ago, but for some reason, here we are, WACK100 is back at it again, talking about Poohshiesty's got some paperwork on him that makes him look bad, and I mean, man, at this point, like I said at the beginning, if Jesus was walking around, WACK100 would have paperwork on him, you know what I'm saying? But basically, at this point, y'all gotta let me know what y'all think
got a
about
whole
all this
fucking
in the
duffy
comments
bag of
down
like
below.
niggas'
Don't
paperwork.
forget to hit the like button, subscribe, tap the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. And as always, it's been fun rocking with y'all, man. I'm out.
Shout out to the Rhythm. So Big 30, you know, he gave Pooh that money on, so we finna see they linked up.
Can you give us an update on Shiesty? How's he doing, man?
He's soft. We on our final level.
Okay.
Dude been popped up on him.
Big 30 just warned Poohshiesty that the feds linked a brand new Miami shooting to the same case that Shiesty had on his name for 3 years. It's starting to sound more like survival tips than friendly advice. And that advice came in just a few days ago when the feds caught wind of a new Miami shooting that looked a little too familiar.
Oh, that's what they was talking about.
October 19th, outside Ricky's Sports Bar.
This is what they've been talking about.
Right in the Miami metro area.
People are trying to say that they trying to link another shooting to this nigga, bro.
Shots went off in the parking lot. 2 men got hit bad, and one didn't make it. The other's been clinging to life ever since.
Now that this, an arrest has been made in a double shooting.
Damn, that's what they've been talking about. They said he came out, and they trying to say something else is going on with
the
this nigga, man.
Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office, and even the FBI jumped on it. They moved quick, way quicker than you'd expect for a random bar shooting. By the next day, they'd already named a suspect, 27-year-old Clayton Hicks, a Miami local. Dude got arrested without a chase, hit with a second-degree M with a firearm charge, and sent to Broward County waiting for extradition. But the wildest part is actually the way the investigation moved. Fast, organized, and federal. Made people think this wasn't some random street beef, and that's when the people started talking. See, the location of this shooting, the setup, the vibe, it all lined up too perfectly with the same Miami case that sent Poohshiesty away back in 2020. Remember when Shiesty and a couple of his homies pulled up to a hotel meetup that was supposed to be about sneakers, blow, and lean? Yeah, well, that went sideways. Guns came out, shots fired. One dude got hit, and Shiesty dropped a Louis Vuitton bag full of cash with his name literally linked to it. That mistake cost him 5 years in the feds, though he only ended up serving 3. Now fast forward to 2025, and suddenly there's another late-night Miami shootout with the same kind of energy. Drug ties, violence, fast money, and chaos. Even though the feds say they haven't found any direct connection to Shiesty, word is they started drawing parallels real quick. Same kind of crime, same part of town, and the same type of firearms involved.
You can get
For the
So what they
feds
trying to say?
and
He
Shiesty's
paid
original
them
case.
niggas
See,
to
that's
do
the
it?
thing about federal investigations. They don't forget. Just like in Dirk's case, when something new pops off in the same area with the same patterns, they start pulling old files, matching ballistics, cross-checking names, and watching who's hanging around who. Reports say the feds were interested in whether the new case could be tied to any ongoing criminal networks that used to orbit around Shiesty's circle. That's all speculation, but when feds start mentioning your name again, that's never a good sign. Now, even though nobody's saying Shiesty's involved, people love patterns, and this one looked way too close for comfort. The new suspect, Clayton Hicks, don't got no known ties to Shiesty, at least not publicly. But the feds' quick response and the fact they pulled in multiple agencies made the streets start connecting dots on their own. Then comes the real twist. The MO was eerily similar. Both situations happened in Miami. Both involved firearms. Both had possible drug or street money connections, and both ended with multiple victims. The feds didn't say Shiesty's name in their official statement, but they didn't have to. Everybody knew who that reminded them of. Now you gotta remember, Shiesty's 2020 case wasn't no
That's
small
what people
local
been saying.
hit. It was a federal level
already got into
situation,
some more
armed
fuck
robbery,
shit.
assault, and conspiracy to
Who
possess
knows, man? They
firearms
just
during
trying to throw shit
violent
on
crimes.
Shiesty
The
as soon
court
as he got out.
documents even tied it to drug trafficking patterns. patterns in the region. So, when a 2025 shooting drops with all those same ingredients, it's like a flashing red light to federal agents who've seen this before. But it's not just the cops watching, because the streets are watching
So
too.
he got
Think about it.
second-degree
If the feds are
murder?
talking Miami and the
So
blogs
nigga
are bringing
died
up
in it,
bold
huh?
names,
Okay.
everybody knows who's standing in the middle of that storm. And that's when Big 30 decided to step in. Word on the block is, the moment this story hit, 30 dropped a little message for Pooh, something along the lines of move smart and don't fumble twice. Now this comes straight from the heart, because if the feds start reopening old doors, they might find things that were better left closed. Big 30 knows that pattern. He's seen too many names turn into headlines, and Pooh just got out of the joint, and he doesn't want to see him go back. His
They
lawyer
might try to
confirmed
connect
it
that
too,
shit to him.
and Gucci Mane showed him love right off the bat. What is not confirmed, though, is Pooh's connection to this
He's
recent
almost
shooting.
still on
But
10-17.
Big 30 had to
So
say
icy
something.
game.
He ain't trying to see his brother go down twice. And the first time it went down, that stuff wasn't right. First of all, you should know Pooh wasn't some random rapper who just stumbled into fame. He grew up in the south side of Memphis, a place where every block got a story, and most of them end in gunfire. The south side's different. It's one of those areas where one wrong look can turn into a war. But for Poohshiesty, the streets weren't just survival, they were home. His pops, mob boss, was already a known name in the city. A rapper, a hustler, and a man who understood both the studio and the streets. He ran his own label and had connections that went way beyond music. So from a young age, Pooh was surrounded by that energy. Studio sessions one day, shootouts the next. By 11, he was already catching his first charge. By 14, he'd been booked again. Memphis raised him rough, and when his mom tried to move him out to Texas to calm things down, it worked for a while. But when he came back home, that street mindset never left. By 2019, Pooh was on his grind with Choppa Gang, his crew with Big 30. They started rapping, but let's be honest, their music wasn't just bars, it was autobiography. Songs like Choppa Talk and Hell Night weren't just flexes, they were glimpses into how deep they were really living that life. Gucci Mane saw the potential and signed him to 1017, giving him his first real shot at breaking out. Then boom, back in blood, with Lil Durk turned Pooh into a superstar overnight. But fame can't erase your past, and for Pooh, the streets were still calling. Around that time, rumors started floating that Choppa Gang had ties to several Memphis shootings, including one at Big Boogie's show in Mississippi, where over 100 rounds were fired. Boogie survived, but people died. And while Poohshiesty was never officially connected, that type of drama always leaves a mark. Then came October 2020, the day that changed everything. According to court documents, Pooh linked up with a couple of guys in the Bay Harbor Islands area of Miami. The deal was supposed to be simple, a quick exchange of goods. But when you mix money and paranoia in the streets, things go left fast. Pooh pulled up in a green McLaren he had rented, and his crew followed behind. The victim said as soon as they hopped out, two dudes from Pooh's side jumped out with guns. Shots got fired and one dude got hit in the butt. The other went down by the car. According to reports, Pooh aimed an AR from the driver's seat, told one victim, "Don't try it," and then sped off. But in that chaos, he left behind the one thing that sealed the deal, an LV bag stuffed with 40 large in cash. The money had serial numbers traced directly back to dude, and that was pretty much it. The feds had everything they needed.
Alright, gang, hold it down, man.
Everything they needed. Surveillance footage, statements, and literal money trails. They booked him for armed robbery, aggravated assault, and conspiracy to possess firearms in furtherance of violent crimes. Pooh bonded out, but instead of laying low, the streets kept dragging him back in. In May 2021, less than a year later, it happened again. Pooh was performing at King of Diamonds, one of the biggest strip clubs in Miami. Everything was smooth until someone in the crowd snatched money out his pocket while he was leaving the stage. Chaos broke out, fans scrambling for cash, security trying to hold the line, and Pooh getting heated. Witnesses said a security guard tried to calm him down, even told him to chill with the gun that was showing in his waistband, but Pooh wasn't hearing it. Cameras caught him cocking the weapon, walking off camera, and then one shot went off. The bullet hit a security guard in the ankle. The whole thing was on video. At that point, the judge had seen enough. Pooh was denied bond and thrown back in federal custody. Between the Bay Harbor Islands robbery and the King of Diamonds shooting, prosecutors wanted to make an example out of him. They were pushing for 8 years minimum, and if Pooh fought the case, they could have hit him with life. So in 2022, Pooh took a plea deal. He stood in that Miami federal courtroom, admitted to 3 crimes: conspiracy to possess firearms, armed robbery, and violent crimes tied to drug trafficking, and got sentenced to 63 months in prison. That's a little over 5 years, but he got time served, which brought it closer to 3. His lawyer, Bradford Cohen, the The same guy who's represented rappers like Drake and Kodak said the plea deal was the best move possible.
Yeah.
The feds had too much evidence. The cash, the footage, the victim's statements.
I mean,
it was either take the deal or risk spending life behind bars. Even behind bars, Poohshiesty story stayed wild. Gucci Mane claimed he was being mistreated. 23-hour lockdown, food trays with no food, the whole thing. But that didn't stop him from flexing. Earlier this year, he bragged on IG that he had in more money than Jay-Z did at his age, and told his ops he'd be back soon. And now that he's out, he's making good on that promise. But the feds never really stopped watching. So yeah, when you hear about another Miami shooting that looks just like his old one, it's not paranoia. It's history repeating itself. And that's why Big 30's warning hits different. He's seen Pooh rise from the south side to platinum records, then fall right back into the system. He knows how fast one move can turn celebration into investigation. Now when Big 30 tells Pooh to move smart, that ain't just talk. That's pain speaking. That's a man who's buried more homies than he can count, and he's tired of seeing the same cycle play out. Big 30's been through too much to still be watching his day ones crash out for the same mistakes. He's lost Newski, his cousin, who got signed under Moneybagg Yo's Bread Gang before getting gunned down in 2022. He lost Cheese Dollar, one of his closest partners, not long after. Then came Big Scarr, another Memphis star and Pooh's blood cousin, gone from an overdose in 2022. 3 names, 3 funerals, and too many RIP chains hanging heavy on his chest. So when Big 30 goes online talking about move smart, it's not clout, it's trauma. He's speaking from indictments and grave sites, from watching moms cry and crews fall apart. You can almost hear it in his tone, the exhaustion. It's not just about staying out of trouble anymore. It's about survival. Big 30 knows every time Pooh's name pops up in a federal headline, the spotlight hits Memphis again. Every time another shooting goes down with the same MO, the feds start asking the same old questions. And now, this might sound wild, but there's real talk floating that federal investigators are trying to connect dots between the new Miami shooting and Pooh's old 2020 case. They've been looking into matching ballistics, old associates, even shared digital footprints from that Bay Harbor Island investigation. If they can link any of that to Poohshiesty's current halfway house status, it could mean a parole violation or even fresh charges. So Big 30's warning wasn't about image. It was literally a lifeline. He's telling us that the feds are watching. Move right or they'll bury you twice. Once in paperwork, once in the streets. But here's the catch. How do you tell a street legend to chill when he's got something to prove? Pooh came home ready to rebuild his name, his crew, his label. He's got his eyes on Choppa Gang Records, calling himself CEO. And that's powerful energy, but it's dangerous too. That independence brings eyes. The feds watching, the industry watching, and even old enemies watching to see if he slips. It's a tough balance, trying to drop hits, not evidence. Pooh wants to be the boss, to show he's more than a product of Memphis. But that grind keeps pulling him right back toward the fire. And if you look at other rappers who came home after long bids, the pattern's all too familiar. Bobby Shmurda had the world waiting for him, but by the time he dropped, the wave had faded. Young Thug, another legend, is still fighting for freedom while his label and friends hold on for dear life. Big 30's seen this movie before. He knows how it ends when the streets write your script instead of the studio. That's why his words sound more like prophecy than advice. He's not trying to preach. He's trying to stop another story from ending the same way. Because in Memphis, history doesn't just repeat, it reloads. And that's why Big 30's warning wasn't just a post or a caption. It was a reality check. Survival mode. Plain and simple. But still, you gotta wonder, will Pooh listen? Or will he chase that comeback so hard that the feds and the streets catch up before the music does? The craziest part is that Pooh's not even fully free yet. He's still under halfway house supervision. Meaning, the feds can pull him in at any moment if they think something's off. One headline, one wrong connection, and it could all come crashing down again. Now here's where things get tricky, because while Pooh's out here trying to rebuild Choppa Gang and restart his career, the feds are still out there connecting dots. And if this new Miami shooting turns out to have any link to his past, even indirectly, Poohshiesty might be walking straight back into the same nightmare he just escaped.
Church's new bone-in wings are gonna blow.
Shout out to D Green, man. So we got Poohshiesty must be stopped. This nigga going at Cardi B, bitch.
Mans hasn't even been out for 24 hours.
24 hours.
Shiesty is already on time, man.
Trying to clap cheeks.
Shout out to D Green with this, man.
In 2022, Memphis rapper Poohshiesty was sentenced to 5 years in prison on conspiracy to possess firearms and some other drug trafficking crimes. I remember like 5 years ago, it was a sneaker in a drug deal gone wrong. Somebody ended up getting popped. Shiesty ended up getting booked and released on bail, and then like a year later after that, he literally popped a security guard in the leg in GTA during some performance at a Miami strip club. Bro, these rappers literally be playing GTA in real life, bro. But long story short, Poohshiesty got out like 2 years early. Poohshiesty was released yesterday to a halfway house. Okay. Bro, I swear none of these rappers be doing full time. These niggas be having Hall of Fame lawyers.
Hall of Fame elite, bitch.
Yes. No audio on this? I always like this music. This shit about to go crazy.
Head ass.
Some people always, they're always confused about this release date thing.
Man, a lot of these niggas don't give a fuck about black niggas.
I mean, he's on a halfway house. In a halfway house, a lot of times will allow you to go do your business, but you gotta still sleep at the halfway house. You get what I'm saying? So it look like he's at a halfway house timing now. Oh wow, that's good. But this man is already back on some shit. Man's walked out of the feds with the shiesty on. This nigga did not waste any time, and he's still pulling triggers. Nigga, this is why you were locked up in the first place. Bro, you would think after a nigga does multiple years in prison, they would come home and at least try to act like a civilian. Now I understand the shiesty is your brand, but at least put the trigger down. You don't think the feds are still watching you?
I don't even think bro gonna be able to. Poohshiesty has been released from federal. Check him out. Don't come out on bullshit, gang.
Bingo!
I'm glad.
Hopefully, they'll take up back up.
When they drop all Gucci first day out.
Hopefully, they'll take up back.
Damn.
Yep. The more money I'm finna give him back to the white man for free. For the free ski. No black people gonna get helped out.
But
random niggas gonna start dying.
Definitely came home to a warm welcome.
He niggas give all his money out back to the white man. Ain't no black person gonna get helped out of this situation. Like you know, that's not part of the gang or the group, nigga.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Find something no fumble, nigga.
Fuck you, man!
That shit on with. Too home.
Bro, imagine being locked up for 3 years and coming home to 200K in cash?
What you say, yo? What's up?
And little Meech couldn't even have anything for his dad is insane.
Yeah, Poohshiesty was already rich, but 200K is 200K.
Know I might be next to blow, but I'm still trying to scratch my bones.
Bro, y'all thought Memphis was dangerous enough already?
About to be cooked.
Poohshiesty is out. These white
It's
ends are
cooked.
about to go crazy.
Nigga about to be astronomical.
Shiesty is free. I'm not taking off these motherfucking gloves. I'm not taking them off. Nigga, the hell is you talking about? Help me!
Bro, if I lived in Memphis, I'm not leaving the house for the rest of October.
Nigga just spawning in, bitch. You got random gang niggas just spawning in on your goofy ass.
You know Poohshiesty is about to drop music, an album
Oh yeah,
or
it's over,
something,
nigga.
bro.
It's over.
And all these YNs are easily influenced by
It's
music.
over.
I mean, yeah,
It's
people are
over,
celebrating
nigga.
Poohshiesty is out of jail, whoop-de-doo, but the crime rate is about to increase, my nigga.
Boy, that about to be crazy,
And
bro.
matter of fact, Poohshiesty has already chose violence. Less than 24 hours, he's shooting his shot at Cardi B. Huh? He said, I love you. No. Now, yes, Poohshiesty was behind bars for 3 years, but he knows Cardi is with Stephon Diggs. She's literally pregnant right now.
Damn.
You need to come the
Do you know how crazy you have to be to want Cardi B right now? Isn't she literally still married to Offset? Mama! Pregnant with another nigga's baby, but here comes Poohshiesty saying I love you. Weirdo. Bro, I'm glad I'm not in the industry, bro, because y'all are completely out of pocket, bro. I don't know what type of time Shiesty is on, bro. He thought about sending this message for the last 3 years, gang.
Yeah.
Now, shout out to Stephon Diggs, bro. I was this close to saying you were washed. And as soon as I say that, this man has a breakout game against his former team, bro. I told y'all bullying athletes work. I said if Stephon Diggs doesn't have like 100 yards his next game, he's washed. But Stephon Diggs, you still need to be careful with Cardi B because there's some bullets you cannot dodge. And trust me, bro, Poohshiesty wants Cardi B real bad.
I mean, anybody can get
He
killed.
was shooting his shot with Cardi B years ago when she was with Offset. Y'all remember? He was like, I'm 5 minutes away, baby. Open the door. No.
I mean, anybody get killed, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, a rapper get killed every day.
Bro.
It don't matter who you is, nigga. That money on, if you got that money on stretch, nigga.
Really ice. Poohshiesty, that's my dog. But you know I'm really shiesty, nigga.
Alright, we back. So, that shit with Cardi B, I can't say that shit dead. But at this point, he don't have to wait for the baby to drop. I don't know. Unless she do the same thing that she did with Offset, get piped out while she pregnant. And he don't have to wait. He came at the wrong time, head ass. The snitching shit. If you get on proverb, halftime you did snitch. I don't know if he did snitch, but like I said, 3 years. What he did is pretty crazy. But like when you got that money on the lawyer, bro, that shit speak. But who knows? I don't know if he snitched really 100%. But we gonna keep on looking into it after this to see if he did snitch or not. But that's what they're trying to say. The streets are saying that he snitched to get out early. I don't know. The shooting shit, that's a bad thing to keep your name connected to because, you know, they can say anything. If a nigga yell his name out, they say his gang name, if they have any type of evidence to say that, oh, he connected to what just happened, they will most definitely do what they have to do to get Poohshiesty again. So let's hope that not happen because that shit crazy. Same shit happened again before he got out. After it's crazy. Also, like I said, man, the snitching shit, man. Hey, if it comes out he snitched, it is what it is. We just know. So make sure y'all like, subscribe, and y'all this bitch hood and outside. Big Crip and the gang outside shit.
Hey, Dad, you know, dog, when we link up, dog, this shit be legendary. You know this instrumental, you the engineer on it, so Kodak everywhere.